Whenever, and we're live. Welcome
Woohoo!
everybody to the show. We're doing our top five. This is our me and Kev the Ork, me Dave Marks the Spy Guy, and Kev the Ork's top five show where we talk about our favorite genre, actors, directors, themes, and give our top five one. And we usually what we'll take is we'll take our movie, one movie or franchise that the actor is particularly known for, and eliminate it. So in Michael Ironside, we had thought about it, but I thought the movie most great for him is his biggest movie, I think, is Total Recall, where he's the bad guy hunting down Arnold Schwarzenegger. So we threw that one to the side, and we're going to talk about everything else he's ever done.
See you in the honourable mentions, Richter.
And as usual, we have not compared lists. We
no.
talking about our lists in the lead up, and we made sure not to actually mention a movie, what our movies are. But we just we're having a hard time figuring out which ones. The problem with Michael Ironside is that he's done so much where he's not necessarily the star, and he's also done a lot of the best stuff. A lot of his best stuff, I think, is in his TV roles. And of course, in this show, we talk about you can talk about TV movie, but like Sequest DSV, which I think he actually brought up the quality on that show, sadly in the third season when they tried to fix things.
Yeah, what was that? That was after the teleportation to a alternate fucking world, wasn't it?
Yeah, they went to another planet. They had time travel in that second season. It was the first season I thought was really good for what it was, for that kind of network show at the time. And then the second season just goes all over the place and really dumbs it down for kids. And then the third season, they try to make it for grown-ups again.
Yeah, because Sequest, because correct me if I'm wrong, Stargate, the series came out around that time as well, didn't it? Or was that a couple years later?
A few years afterwards.
Was it?
Yeah, Sequest is like...
no, Sequest was the beginning of the 90s.
Yep.
Yeah, Jesus. Fucking hell, when you live as long as an orc does,
you
know, it all blurs together.
Between 93 and 96 and
Damn. But yeah, no, they tried to turn it from Sequest from, like, you know, a nice, you know, had a bit of an ecological taint to it, you know, lean to it, but it was fine, entertaining story. And then they tried to turn it into Star Trek meets Star Wars underwater. Do you know what I mean? They tried to throw everything in the kitchen sink at it because they went, that's popular at this moment in time. You know, and it just went wrong.
Yeah, and it was so interesting. Like their pilot is really interesting. They set up all this stuff, and then they drop all the stuff in the pilot. There's like they had the villain who was some sort of industrialist who was upset the colonists are coming in and ruining his bit. And he sets up his son to be like is set off on a mission with the former commander of the Sequest to take on the bad guys, and then the good guys. And then at the end of the season, the son's dead. The captain's gotten away after killing him. The ship they were on was destroyed, and you just are like, who is that villain? We never learned. Whatever happened to that captain? She never shows up again. It's like, make your seasons around those people. Like,
well, it's like they got I can't vouch for it, but it's like they got a completely new. They got rid of the entire writers' room and got a brand new crew in and went, okay. And the writers went, nah, fuck it, we'll do what we want. We're not going to link it in any way, shape, or form,
right,
to what's gone previously. You know.
Yeah, at least the third season had a consistent run through. They came back from their being out in outer space for 10 years, and Michael Ironside's brought in. They decided to make it like the United Earth government has been on the retreat. There's this power mad dictator coming out of Australia who's basically taking over the world. And
who'd have thought they'd have fucking power mad Australian?
Michael York too.
Power mad Australian? Who would have thought they could have predicted the future?
Right? They seem so rough and like independent, and never would allow themselves to be put in concentration camps. I don't know.
Oh God, no. That would never happen.
Their government by now, but no, it's like.
Oh yeah, but they did give up their guns.
They did give up their guns.
But yes, folks, we are here. We are going to give you our separate lists of what we think Michael Ironside's top 5 movies are.
Mm-hmm.
Now, remember, folks, this can be, how can I put this politely? Basically, it's a good performance by Michael Ironside.
Right.
I have to quantify that statement.
Yeah, he's not. This is a guy who's not usually the star of many movies. He's almost certainly, if he is in the movie, he's the bad guy or the chief henchman to the bad guys. There is one movie that's on my list where he is not, and that is my number 1.
It's either that or he's the gritty, sort of like general kind of character, you know. The commander in chief who's been there and done it all in a previous iteration, you know, but nowadays he just sits back and sends other people and makes the hard choices. Yep. So yeah.
Okay, I think
this
I led last time, so why don't you go first this time?
Okay, well, my number 5 is actually a modern movie. Mm-hmm. And it's a bloody good movie. Nobody.
Oh, he's a nobody. I still have to watch that movie.
Oh, great. So I'm going to have to give fucking spoilers away here.
Yeah, go ahead. I know what that movie is. I hear it's just a ripoff of John Wick.
Well, it's written by the same writers. And going on to a slight tangent here, I have the ultimate fanfic, right? Because you got John Wick 4 and 5 coming up, yeah? It would be great if they combined.
They seem to be getting kind of derivative as they go on.
Yeah, but it's got the same feel to it, you know, because like in John Wick, it's like you've got the normal world and then you've got the underworld, and they're completely separate. You know, like no innocents ever get harmed or any of that. With Nobody, I feel like they could combine the two. Because the character in Nobody, he was the auditor, for want of a better phrase, that would go in, and he's got the same sort of feeling as John Wick, so you could sort of like do this whole thing where he ends up having to go against John Wick because they come from the same underworld. Although he was government sanctioned, and obviously they're not.
Yeah,
and then you can lead up to a massive team up. But yeah. No, Nobody, Michael Ironside, plays the father-in-law. Big industrial complex, the factory he owns, and he employs his son, and he's proper gruff in it. He's just like, I don't give a fuck. He's very straight talking. He's not in it a huge amount, but through first half of the movie, you just know that he's disappointed in his son-in-law. Because you just get the feeling he had so much more hope for him, and for his son-in-law, and he employs him, and he employs his son. And he's always ripping on him, and to the point where he's got another son who's going to inherit the business. And Odenkirk's character, near the end of the movie, just fucking lays him out, and Michael Ironside doesn't even bat an eyelid. He's just like, well, yeah, you're a dick, because Steve Odekirk. He ends up buying the business off of him because they've been talking about it, and he's like, yeah, you're never going to do it. And he just walks in with a ton of gold bullion and just dumps it on the desk and goes, there you go, I'm buying the business.
There you go.
And Michael Ironside's just like, okay, yeah, fine, deal. And his son's like, well, Dad, I want to be your business owner. And he's just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
So it was a really nice... what's the word I'm looking for? Really nice portrayal of somebody who's not in it a lot, but has a couple of great lines and just sticks in your mind as being, just like straight talking, no nonsense, doesn't give a fuck guy. Which, funny enough, is a lot of his characters, but
right, you know,
yeah. And also, it led me to find out one that I want to watch, which is called 88, which I haven't watched yet. Also has Christopher Lloyd in it. So he's worked with him at least twice because Christopher Lloyd's in Nobody as well.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that is my number 5 was Nobody.
Okay, I'm going to give my honorable mention. We were talking in the chat beforehand. There is a movie that is so considered so bad that in its franchise, people refuse to admit this movie exists, which is kind of sad because I think Michael Ironside's character is probably the best part of one of the best parts of this movie, and it's Highlander 2: The Quickening. This movie is terrible. Like, it makes no goddamn sense in this the chronology. Like, we were talking about DSV, and where writers' rooms come in and just throw out the movie.
We might talk about this film a little bit later on in the show.
Yeah, but Michael Ironside in this is as the bad guy is just like chewing scenery, and like that scene where he says to, like, when they come down to punishment, and he's like, "What the fuck's wrong with these stupid priests?" Like, anyways, but yeah, he's that's a movie that maybe just skip through everyone else's performances to watch him be a bad guy. He's very bad as a bad guy, or very good as a
very good as a bad guy. He's very good at being bad.
My number 5 is Starship Troopers. This is another, like, a lot of people don't like this movie, but I think it's great. But we've gotten so many memes, all that, like, do you want to know more thing, like, Peter Verhoeven, or however you spell his freaking name.
Verhoeven.
Yeah. He apparently got like 2 chapters in the book, threw it away, and said, "Oh, well, I'm just going to make whatever I want," and missed which explains a bit of that movie.
Yeah,
that movie is so. People say, "What's your favorite horror movie?" And I'm like, Starship Troopers. And they're like, "Why?" Because people keep getting younger and younger. Like, the soldiers are getting, like, humanity's taking so many losses that by the end of the movie, we're sending like 14-year-olds off to fight. This is not like a good thing. But
we might be talking about this movie a little bit later on as well.
Yeah,
and I'm just going to point out, same director as Total Recall.
Yeah. So yeah, but Michael Ironside plays a lieutenant who is like one of the high school teachers. That all the characters are going to high school for. His character is one of the few things from the book that I think translated well into that movie is the fact that his character is like, they give you the whole Hiroshima argument. They do all these other things in it, but basically, in this future, if you want to get your citizenship, if you want to you have to serve in the army or like do civil service for 2 years, which in the book they explain you can, like, a paraplegic will get assigned something stupid to do for 2 years to get his service if he really wants it. But the idea is that when the soldiers came back from war and they basically took over because they couldn't stand the fact that
the veterans,
the crummy politicians who never served were willing to throw their lives away. So the rule is you have to serve to become to get your citizenship, which I think there's something to that.
Yeah, the whole concept around it is, if you want to say in how you can live, you can have a perfectly comfortable life and be perfectly successful in this society without serving your society first. But if you want to have a say in how it's run, any important decisions, if you want, be able to vote, for example, why should you have that automatic right when you're not willing to put yourself on the line for your country, society? You have no right to speak and dictate what happens to your country if you're not willing to protect your country, serve your country first. There is something to it.
Yeah. Anyways, Michael Ironside character is the high school teacher, and when they go to war, he becomes like their commanding officer for a bunch of the kids from the movie. And he is appropriately badass, as Michael Ironside usually is, but making all the hard choices, making all the tough decisions. I really like this movie for some of the stuff that's happening, and like I said, it's one of my favorite horror movies. when other people think it's more of a science fiction movie. But we've gotten some of the greatest memes out of this thing ever. Do you want to know more?
Oh,
if
yeah.
you want to know more, watch the movie.
It's great. Or keep watching this show.
Yeah.
No, I fully, good pick. Good pick for number 5. My number 4. Top Gun.
Okay.
Jester. There's something about him that, I mean, obviously Top Gun, everybody knows the story of Top Gun. Tom Cruise, I wouldn't say it was his breakout movie, but it was when he was just exploding over everything.
Right.
In Hollywood. And he's not in it. Again, this is part of the problem we are having, folks, with Michael Ironside, is he's not in Top Gun a whole ton. But when he is, I feel he actually takes the camera away from Tom Cruise. So that is, you know what I mean? This is Tom Cruise we're talking about here. And Michael Ironside, again, he is, the gruff, been there, done it, that sort of character. But it's just the fact that he pulls your eye away from Tom Cruise in what is one of his most popular movies of all time. And I mean, Top Gun. I don't know about you, Dave. Are you excited for the new Top Gun?
Yeah, I am.
You are.
Yeah.
I'm.
Hey,
Mackie in the house. What up, my man? But yeah, so like I say, Top Gun. Sorry, just got war wounds are playing me up a little bit. So, and that's ruined the camera. So I have to fix that. There you go. But no, it's one of those films where, like I say, because I mean, Top Gun as well. You think about it. Think about the cast that's in it, and he's drawing your eye, away from Val Kilmer. He's commanding the screen when he's on. The problem is he's not on it enough, in my opinion.
Or maybe he is just on it enough so that he doesn't take away from Val and Tom.
Yeah, maybe there was a load more deleted scenes, and they just went, "No, we can't have him. We can't have him keep showing up because it's taken away from our big money players." But yeah, so Top Gun again. This is the problem we were having. He's not in it a whole bunch. If it's a great movie. I would have put it higher up the list if he'd been in it more.
Yeah,
which is
again on my list if he had been in it more. Yeah.
So that's Top Gun is my number 4 pick, and I've just broken something. Oh god damn it.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. The Ork is clunking about on his desk.
Okay. Well, my number 4 is a Canadian movie. It is Scanners. I finally watched this when we decided to talk about Michael Ironside. And this movie is pretty crazy. So Scanners is basically a world where psychics exist. But they just don't read your mind. They can cause your head to explode.
Oh, yes.
And there's a lot of exploding heads in this particular film. So Michael Ironside starts off as like somewhat of a bad guy, but it's not exactly too clear who's the good guy and who's the bad guy in this particular film.
The movie is a bit ambivalent.
Yeah, and you can definitely tell it's a Canadian movie because everyone, all the police, everyone, all the bad guys, they all have shotguns because it's like the only legal gun we can have in this country. But yeah, so he's in. The starting of the movie is there's like the security company who's discovered a handful of these psychics, and they call them scanners. But most of them are not, because they've grown up with psychic powers they can't really control, are not well adjusted to the things. So there's one scanner here who's here, and he is well adjusted, and he's doing a demonstration for a bunch of people, and suddenly he's starts shaking and freaking out when he brings up a random person up on the stage. Turns out the random person he brings up is Michael Ironside's character, and he's also a scanner, and he's kills this guy, and he turns out he's been basically eliminating all this private security contractors, scanners, and is leading a rebellion of scanners against the corporation. And Patrick McGowan's in this from the Danger Man slash the Prisoner, who's playing a scientist who gets involved. And there's another guy who I've never seen, an actor before I've never seen or heard from again, who's also in this movie. He basically has this one guy in reserve, sends him out to try and figure out where Michael Ironside's character's up to. And there's secrets are revealed. There is a dramatic showdown at the end of the movie that you don't really see coming, and I really recommend that movie. It's on my number 4 part. It is, of course, made by the same guy who made The Fly, and I'm trying to remember what that director
was. Brood, was it? No, he didn't make it. Oh God, I'm trying to remember now. Yeah, David Cronenberg.
Yes, it's a Cronenberg flick. So, as one, I can't remember who the actor or director was. He's I'm scared of Canada. The only thing I've ever learned about Canada is from watching David Cronenberg movies. Yeah, so he's pretty solid movie. I bought it for like $10 on the internet, and
No. Very solid pick. I mean, there you go. There's a deep cuts one for you there, folks. Mm-hmm. Scanners. Mm-hmm. Right. Oh, and by the way, Matthew, feel free to give us your list of top 5 Michael Ironsides as well. You know,
yep.
We will rate them accordingly and tell you how stupid you are. Or maybe you're good. Maybe you're right.
Maybe you'll have the exact list as me, and that'll be great.
He'd have to wait till the end of the show for that one. Send it in afterwards. But right, so where are we at? We're at number that was number 4 for you. So my number 3,
right,
was Scanners.
There you go.
I haven't seen this film in forever and a day, and I thought it gives me an excuse to try and find it. You know, and plus, you know, Cronenberg. I like Cronenberg movies. Yeah, I mean, fucking hell. I remember when, what was it? Existence come out. Did you ever see that one?
No, that's one of the few that I've missed.
With Jude Law in it. That was weird. Okay? That was a weird film. So it was just like, oh, God, go on in. I've got an excuse now to try and find Scanners and watch it. And, yeah, it's... Well, I mean, you succinctly gave me the... oh, hold on. Here you go. Red, green, and due south.
Yeah.
Oh, right. There you go.
Well, speaking of David Cronenberg, my favorite of his is Videodrome. That was a screwed up movie.
Yeah, I mean, so I've just pulled up Cronenberg's list here. You know, I mean, I love The Fly. I mean, Dead Zone, we mentioned. Yep. You know, like I say, Scanners. Oh, Jesus Christ. Fucking Existence. I mean, he still does some stuff. He's not prolific anymore.
Yeah, but he's like, what's his name? John Carpenter. These genre directors who had a certain unique style and were able to make movies independent of the Hollywood system. Yeah.
I mean, he's done a bit of acting as well. You know, I mean, fuck me, he was in Star Trek Discovery.
For him.
Which, STD, you know, poor bastard. He's obviously paying dues for something because that is an atrocious show, which I think has been picked up for 4 and 5.
Well, he's from Toronto, so he just goes down to that studio. It's not like it's far for him.
Well, yeah, I suppose. But, oh, dear. Yeah. I'm just sorry, yeah. Star Trek Discovery. I might have to just burn all my DVDs of his now. On the basis it's STD.
Yeah, you don't want to catch one of those.
Oh, not again, I don't. Jesus Christ, the last time was enough. You'd think I'd learn after the first time, and the second, and the third. But, you know, you go out of a night, you know, you have 1 or 2 libations, and you wake up 3 days later with a horrible rash and an itch. And no memory of what happened.
Yep.
You just know it must have been a damn good time. Until you get your credit card receipt in.
Yeah, right.
And then you're like, oh, okay. But no, so yeah, Scanners, like you say, it's there is no good slash bad guy here because everybody's trying to use and take advantage of the situation for their own ends.
Right.
So it's hello, Dave. You roboted for a second there. Okay. Yeah, but
Yeah, my computer's been weird all day. It needs a reboot.
Yeah, one of them. Yes, it helps if you turn it off and shut it down and reboot it every once in a while.
Right.
But yeah, if you haven't seen Scanners, that is one which I fucking recommend just because it's people's fucking heads exploding. And also, what I love about it, one of the things I love about it is the facial expressions of the actors when they're selling the fact that they're using their powers or, they're getting affected by the powers. Some of the expressions they pull, you're like, you had a medic on set, right? Just in case they were actually having a seizure.
Right.
Because obviously they've just been told, right, you're using your powers, go. And they're like, how do I sell this visually? How do I sell this visually? Let's make it look like I'm constipated. Haven't had a dump for 2 weeks. So it's looks a bit goofy and cheesy by today's standards, obviously.
Yeah.
But
like I said, it's a Canadian movie. Everyone's running around with a shotgun because that's the only gun they can get. That being said, 12-gauge shotguns, very effective.
yeah, up close it definitely is. So we know that from our Fallout.
Yes.
Which, by the way, folks, will be coming up in a few weeks' time, live over on Green Zone Gaming, or wherever we do it. Because, Dave, I don't know if you know, the other day we actually tried out Restream.
Sorry, which one?
Restream. So we streamed live simultaneously both to YouTube and to Twitch.
Oh, excellent.
So that seemed to work all right. That was but yeah. So maybe we'll do that for the Fallout. We don't know yet. Have to discuss. But anyway, why do we keep going off topic like this?
Because that's the part of the show.
Yes. But anyway, there you go. So that was my number 3. We don't collude these lists. We don't collude.
Definitely not. So my number 3 is Michael. Like we talked about, Michael Ironside plays a bad guy in a lot of movies, and he usually plays like the psychotic hitman, and he has a number of different movies where he does that. I chose, I think, for my number 3, one of the best movies where he does that. And it's also very uniquely different. A lot of times when he's playing one of these psycho killers, he's not given much personalities. Like, you're just a remorseless machine hunting down Terminator style against your opponent. That's what we want from you in this thing. And sometimes, like, I saw one where he's like up against a Robert Davey of all people, the bad guy, a James Bond villain, and it's like he was the devil in that movie. But in this particular movie, I watched a little last week. It's called Watchers, and it's based on a Stephen King story. And I felt he was probably the best part in this thing. Basically, to research. Oh, hey,
Bree in the house.
Great to see you. Yeah. So basically, there is a government science facility has a fire, and it turns out 2 of its experimental research subjects escape. One of them is a hyper intelligent dog. The other is like a psychotic, murder machine, and the government brings in Michael Ironside's character, who is like the CIA agent, investigator, hitman, to bring back to research things, and he just plays it so well, where he's like given a chance to be more than just generic Michael Ironside. He was allowed to expand himself. There's several times where he comes across as the reasonable one, hey, no, why don't we work together on these things? And the entire time he's a sociopath. But you got to see the fact that he was this had a bit more range to him than any one of his other things, and I really you You're right. Sorry, it's Dean Koontz. Thank you, Matthew. And I do recommend this. Like, I really enjoyed his performance in this particular movie. It's also a nice little movie from the 80s.
I completely forgot about this movie.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
I completely forgot about this.
No, I've been wanting to watch it for a long time, but yeah, it's and I found it on the Tubes of You for free. So.
The Tubes of You? You mean where I am the smartest, bestest, and most intelligent orc?
Yeah, the place. That's because you're the only one.
Piss off. Give me that. Come on, give me that. Just because Chris isn't here, you don't have to stand in for him, you know?
Yeah, but it's more fun when I do that. So I did give you, I think it was the Christmas stream where I didn't say anything.
Was it?
Yeah, one of the streams I know I didn't say anything because I felt it was in the spirit of the situation.
Oh, right. Okay, well, thank you for that. Just do it again. Just do it again next time, please.
Okay.
I need validation for my orcish ego. Because green lives matter.
Do they? Do they?
Yeah, well, you wait. Lord of the Rings is coming out soon.
And I hear that's going to be a dumpster fire.
Oh God, I reckon it is. But you wait for it. It's going to be Orc Lives Matter in that one. You wait. But yeah, so.
Well, I hear it's nothing but mostly peaceful orc visits and coming scenes out of Mordor.
Yeah, peaceful shopping. Peaceful marauding, peaceful pillaging. You know, that's where you say thank you afterwards.
Yes, right.
The guy can't hear you because you've decapitated him and done unspeakable things to his corpse, but you said thank you afterwards. We have standards. We have morals. Oh dear. But yes, Number two. Jesus Christ. We're burning through this today.
Yeah, we don't have Bob slowing us down.
Well, that's true. I mean, he'll probably show up next week and go, guys, where are you? Only joking. I know Bob wanted to be here, but he's out of town, so he couldn't make it.
Yeah.
Lazy bastard. He couldn't be bothered to log in on his phone and join us, you know. Jeez. You know, where's the dedication? Yeah, I was up all night long drinking my sorrows away after the fucking football result. And I'm still here, drinking away. I'm still trying to get rid of me sorrows. Right. My number two is Highlander 2.
I know you were hemming and hawing. Was it on your list, or did you just...
No, it was on my list. It was on my list.
Okay.
Now, yes, it is a garbage movie. Let's get that straight out of there. Yes, even the mythos of the Highlander movie saga denies its existence because Highlander 3 just ignores it totally.
Right.
Yes, it was a completely fucking retarded thing to do. I mean, I swear they had a script for a completely different movie, couldn't get the funding for it. So they slapped the Highlander name on it, and it got greenlit, which they weren't expecting. So yeah, Highlander 2. We all know Highlander, the classic movie about immortals through time, fighting their way through time to receive the prize when there can be only one, and when only one is left, and decapitating all their foes. We all know it. We love it. Then you had Highlander 2, where suddenly the immortals are alien resistance fighters who lost the war and so were transported to another planet, i.e. Earth, where they would have to compete against each other to gain the power to come back to the planet they were exiled from as the ultimate ruler. You fucking what? So hold on, we've defeated the resistance. We've got them all together, including Sean Connery and Christopher Lambert, or Lambert, however you want to pronounce it. So what we're going to do, we're not just going to execute them and solidify my rule for all eternity. We're going to... Oh, and that was the other thing that confused the fuck out of me. the phrasing where you will become immortal. So they're not immortal to begin with. And yet, Michael Ironside, see, there is a point to this. Michael Ironside is the big bad boss. They've shipped the immortals, they've shipped these characters to Earth, and yet he hasn't aged a day in the centuries they've spent on Earth. What? And you think that's bad, folks? It gets worse from there in that movie. But the reason it's number 2 is because, like we've said multiple times, Michael Ironside doesn't get a lot of full frontal, facing the camera. And this movie, he just goes balls to the wall. I mean, everything from that fucking wig, Michael Ironside with a big flowing mullet, all the way through to, well, he's just ridiculous the whole way through. He is amped up to 11. He's chewing every bit of scenery. I mean, Christopher Lambert is not the best actor in the world. We know Sean Connery's great.
Yeah.
So it's not like he decided to try and outact Sean Connery. He just decided to. Yes, Matthew. Exactly. That's one of the confusing things about the story. They're not immortal on their planet, but they come to Earth. They're immortal. They live for centuries, killing each other to get the power to come back and rule their planet.
Yep.
Great plan there, folks. The whole Michael Ironside, he's like we say, he's the evil dictator who has taken control and enacted this genius level plan.
In defense, he does say something to the fact that this is not his plan. This
was yes, sorry. It's something to do with
decided destiny. He's like, this is a stupid thing. What fucking priest, Jesus?
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. No, you're right. Yeah,
the judiciaries are dependent. That happens sometimes.
Yeah, but you never understand why they've got that power, and not. But anyway, and so Michael Ironside, he's chewing it up on this alien planet, and he's now worried because nobody's come back to claim the power, and he knows McLeod is the only one. And so, hold on, mate. He's the only one left. He's won. He hasn't come back. So instead of just leaving him there to, waste away, live out his natural life, and then not be a threat to you ever again, he decides to send down hitmen, which immediately makes McLeod immortal again.
Yep.
Because he decapitates one of them with a phone wire. Was it phone wire or was it a
this movie wire? So long ago.
Yeah, overhead wire of some kind. And then decides to go down himself, thusly becoming immortal, thusly having to take the power, yada, yada, yada. And there's a whole eco thing going in on the same time. But he is just, I mean, you thought the Kurgan was living life large in Highlander 1. It's like Michael Ironside took that as inspiration, went, I can fucking out-Kurgan the Kurgan. Yeah. Just with the ridiculousness of it all. So it's a shit movie. It's probably, I'm not sure it'll be top 10 worst movies of all time.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it'll be in the top 20 worst movies of all time. Mm-hmm. But Michael Ironside's performance, because we're talking about Michael Ironside here, not the movie itself, it has elevated it to the number 2 spot in my Michael Ironside movies.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you could watch it again just for Michael Ironside.
Which is part of my recommendation. Just skip through all the things just to get to Michael Ironside. And there's that whole ridiculous scene where he's on the train. What was that about?
Oh yeah, and he cranks it up all the way, and oh Jesus, like I say, it's Michael Ironside just not doing the stoic tough guy or the hitman, just being a complete fucking nutter for every second he's on screen.
Here's a top 5 for you. Top 5 worst sequels that are not Highlander 2.
Oh Jesus. Ooh. Oh. Right. Well, we can do that one next if you want.
I'm not too sure I want to, though.
You have to sit there and watch them.
Yeah.
I don't know, folks. we might do that.
Yeah.
Leave a comment down below after this video is uploaded if you want to see top 5 worst movie sequels that are not. Oh shit! Do we do it as Highlander or do we do it as Star Wars?
Well, the thing with Star Wars is that it's not really it's a whole trilogy that would be making fun of. Like, yeah, but
Okay, no, we'll say.
I still think Highlander 2 is a worse sequel because they had. Then I mean, you at least in that trilogy have the first one, which is okay.
Yeah, but then you got The Last Jedi.
Yeah. You know what, sequels, you know what, in my mind, if we're doing sequels, it would be like the next movie in the series.
Oh, fair enough.
Like that one's like, so if Empire Strikes Back had sucked, then that would have counted, but it doesn't, right?
Fair enough.
Fair enough. Which are the ones that are twos in the sequel? We could that would eliminate a lot of that problem.
No. Fair enough. I see where you're going with that. That's a potential. So, like I say, let us know in the comments down below, folks, afterwards. And don't forget to, if you're watching on if you're watching now, you better hit that like button. If you're watching on the replay, still hit the like button. Remember to fucking hit that big red button that says subscribe and ring Dave's bell.
Oh, yeah, I have a bell now.
Yes, so you get notified next time we go live or he posts a video or all that good stuff.
I watched a series last week that I'm planning on talking about, doing a video later, either today or tomorrow. It was called Archive 81. It's basically the best like horror Cthulhu style show since the first season of True Detective, I think.
Interesting. I've not seen
Netflix,
that.
pretty good. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'll be sure to check out that video when it hits.
Okay.
But yes. So you're number 2.
My number 2 is Extreme Prejudice. This is a movie where there's everyone chewing the scenery. There's like, let me just double check. I'm pretty sure it's written by John Milius, who of course wrote, written by John Milius, directed by Walter Hill. So one of my favorite director. It stars Nick Nolte, Powers Booth, and Michael Ironside.
That's a trilogy. That's a trifecta there.
This movie, it's like violence, gore level is high. So basically, Nick Nolte is the sheriff in this small town on the Texas border. Powers Booth plays his like best friend from childhood, who also happens to be the local like drug dealer, drug kingpin. And Michael Ironside is the leader of an elite military unit that is sent to take him out by using with extreme prejudice, and all the guys in the unit are legally dead. And there's backstabbing, there's stuff, but like look at the cast of characters in this movie. Nick Nolte.
What year was it out?
It came out in 87.
87.
And it's got Nick Nolte, Powers Booth, Michael Ironside, Maria Conchita Alonso, Rip Torn, Clancy Brown, William Forsythe, Matt Mulhern.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, this movie I saw a few years ago. I was in a role-playing group, and we were role-playing like superheroes. And our name of our group of characters was our superhero gang was Extreme Prejudice, because like one character was took the racist flaw, and the other character was black. So we had a lot of fun with that. But yeah, this movie is like just crazy violence. The exactly what you would expect from a John Milius written script. Walter Hill, who like I said is one of my favorite directors, genre directors. He's the guy who did 48 Hours. Like this movie is a blast from start to finish. There's like guns, violence, craziness. A literal Mexican standoff ends the movie. It's great.
I have not seen this one.
I'm a little surprised, and I think I mentioned it as a possibility at the end of the last stream. So I was a little surprised you didn't get a chance, because we were talking about Powers Booth at that time.
Yes. Oh no. So I'm writing this on my to watch list right now.
Right.
It's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Extreme Prejudice. Yeah, and I'll better make sure 1980. I've got it down here as 1987. So that's probably UK release. Because I'm sure there's some more Extreme Prejudice type titles out there, so I know I've got the right one. Damn, I have not seen that one. I feel gutted now. Jesus Christ. Oh, yes, look at that fucking cast. Oof. Oh, now I've got my fucking gangster lean back on. That's how shocked I am.
So.
Oh, might get hit with a copyright on this.
Yeah, well...
After an advert.
Yeah. Oh, damn it.
No. Ugh. No.
Try that again.
Heavy weapons, Sergeant Declan.
Oh, really? What the fuck am I watching it?
There's Mr. Booth.
Oh. Ah. Oh, mate.
Yep.
Mate, okay, yeah, so I've got it up on mine as well because I was just watching it with the sound. Oh,
Yeah, there's a bank robbery. It's a great, all these actors chewing up the scenery, giving it all its worth. It's like the Expendables before the Expendables. Okay, guys, I really recommend that movie. It probably would be my number one, except for there's a very special part of my number one pick. So,
no, dude, I'm gonna have to. Yeah, like I say, that's fucking on the list. The backlog is real, folks.
It is.
All right. Anyway, yeah. Oh, my number one then, isn't it? Well, before I do, just going to give a couple of honourable mentions. One is McBain.
Right.
We've mentioned this movie so many times.
Yeah, we from the Christopher Walken stream.
Exactly. So I thought, no, I'm not going to put it on the list. We've talked about this enough. But yeah, McBain is one. And another honourable mention is not a movie, is the Splinter Cell games, where he plays Sam Fisher. He's the title character, Sam Fisher, all the way through.
Okay.
He's done the voice acting for every single one of the games, and he was also, because they did a little spin-off thing, say little spin-off game, massive open world game, and Sam Fisher's character actually shows up in that as well. And he plays Sam Fisher. And again, yeah, it is a bit cliche. He's the tough older veteran kind of thing if you've never played the Splinter Cell games, but he just sells every line of dialogue in it, and they're such good games as well. So that's a couple of honourable mentions there for me.
Okay. My other honourable mention is the old D TV series. He's in the mini series. He's in the TV show. There's some very interesting episodes.
Which one? V.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, V. Yes. Sorry, I thought you said V.
Yep.
Yeah, that was classic.
Hardbound mercenary who figures out ways to take out the aliens, and he's got and he has some very interesting episodes within the show, and I do recommend that. Just watching him for that, and just watching the show once in your life. I don't think it's not that great. It suffers from like budget cutbacks, but it's still
it's fun.
It's fun.
Well, yeah, and that's one thing that I didn't realize, folks, until we started working on this. It's just how much voiceover work he does. Yeah, he's been playing Darkseid, however you want to pronounce it, since the fucking 90s. You know, fucking, he was in
the Nerdporial Lifeforms.
Hey, Nerdporial's here, dude. haven't had a chance to check you out in a bit, but you're going great guns, man. Loving some of your vids. The old retro Mario and stuff. Great. No, Nobuhiro is a cool dude.
Cool.
So, yeah. But no, I didn't realize how much voiceover work he did, you know. It's... you know, where is it? He done X-Men, fucking... He's been Darkseid. Oh, Jesus Christ. So he's seriously a good one. Oh. What was it? Sorry, I'm just confused. Matthew says Kenneth Johnson. He directed Short Circuit 2.
Okay.
What's that in relation to?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, I'm a little bit confuddled there, Matthew, but that's normal for me. So let's be honest.
I mean, the movie is basically you can tell it's Toronto, and the entire time it's supposedly New York. I mean, it's really bad how many landmarks are in that movie.
And yeah, Nerdporial, we actually discounted Total Recall. It's top 5 Michael Ironside movies that are not.
I was telling Kevin about so I was watching this documentary on Michael Ironside years ago, and one of the actors was talking about I was working on Michael Ironside on the set of Total Recall, and we're both. It's like the one of the lead writer, or I think it's like the writer of Total Recall, and he's like, and here we were sitting there, and he turns to me and he's like, "I'm never going to be able to go on a roof again," and because apparently like Harrison Ford, when he was starting out, he started out as a roofer. Ford was carpenter, and the guy turns to him dude, you're co-starring in the biggest movie of the year with Arnold Schwarzenegger in an $80 million movie. You don't have to worry about ever going on a roof again. But that kind of attitude with Michael Ironside explains why he if there's work available, he takes it. He's not one of these people who's ever turned things down.
Yeah, you can see that.
Oh, there's a paycheck. I have the time. I'll do it. And that used to be very common with actors up until into the 70s. There's all sorts of actors you'll see doing all sorts of work as long as there's a paycheck involved. But you don't see that very often too much with big stars who are I was watching Midnight's Edge yesterday, and they're talking about Robert Pattinson and what kind of work he's doing. And it's that's a guy who's once you get your franchise, you just decide you don't have to slum it or do anything else. Now I understand there's also once you're in one of those kind of movies, the studios want to protect you by not.
Yeah, because they don't want your brand name to be
your cachet.
Sullied.
But yeah.
But no, Patterson's done some good. If you haven't seen The Lighthouse,
no, I have not seen it.
Watch that. It's Patterson and Defoe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, Ned Boyle's throwing some out there at us. Charlton Heston, Sean Connery, and Clint Eastwood would turn down roles.
Right.
Yes, they bloody well would. And Ned Boyle, the next Karate Kid. Yeah. No,
he does have the potential to be in a.
He does. But then you got to think. I mean, I suppose because Miyagi was in the next Karate Kid, wasn't he? So
right.
It links it together.
Yep. He's certainly that. There's a lot of stuff in these movies. I thought about the next Karate Kid, but I just haven't watched it in so long.
I haven't watched it since I got a free copy on VHS.
Right.
That's how long ago I watched that movie.
I watched it on some thing like First Choice or the Movie Network way back in the day. So.
Oh Jesus. So yeah. Where are we at? Where are we at here?
You're doing your number one.
My number one. Michael Ironside movie that is not Total Recall. Starship fucking Troopers.
Right.
I love this movie, right? I've read the Robert A. Heinlein book. I've got it somewhere.
Yep.
And yes, they did change an awful fucking lot. Well, 90% of the book, like you said earlier when you were talking about it. What was it you said? Verhoeven kind of read the first chapter or two and then went, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
And went on to do his own thing. Which I kind of understand because the book, it's one of those ones, it's like Ready Player One. I don't feel it would translate properly onto screen.
Not in the movie. I think they did it with the Roughneck cartoon.
Yeah, the
Pretty
CGI
good.
one. Yeah, the Roughneck CGI one. Yeah, I've actually got the first 2 seasons of that on DVD, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, I say I've got the first 2 seasons on DVD. For some reason, they did something really fucking weird. I got the first season they released on DVD, and then the second DVD they released was season 3. Because if I remember correctly, the seasons were 1 planet per season. They go to 1 planet per season. So season 1 ends. The next disc I get, season 2, it's labeled season 2. They've already met the aliens and got the alien in their squad and all the rest of it. It's like there's a whole section, there's a whole fucking story missing here. But anyway, digressing. But Michael Ironside, he plays, as we've discussed, he plays their teacher, their sociology teacher, where he's teaching them the value of, the Federation and the pros and cons that go with it. And then he actually steps up to the plate, after the events of the movie with the destruction of the city and all the rest of it. He steps up to the plate. He goes from teaching about citizenry, being a citizen, to putting himself on the line for his Federation. And he has a couple of brilliant one-liners. I mean, for fuck's sake, come on. They sucked his brains out.
Yeah.
And it's the way he plays the character of Razkak. Razkak, and nothing phases him. He, people he's known for years are starting to dying around him, his squad, and it's just part and parcel of it. And he just moves on. It's proper tough as nails. Oh yeah, okay, fine. To the point where he shoots one of his own platoon because they get captured by an alien. He's just like, I would expect any one of you to do the same for me, which always confused me a little bit because Rico kills him after he gets his legs chewed off.
Right.
But we know he can survive without that because we have the recruiting sergeant at the beginning of the movie.
Oh yeah, no. I think it was more he was getting the rest of them chewed up pretty quick. That's why he gets killed.
No, because they pull him out. They get him out of the hole, and he's just on the ground when the evacuation is coming down. So they could have theoretically got him out of there. Which, by the way, was one thing they did transfer over from the book to the movie was the recruiting sergeant.
Yep.
Because in the book, the whole point is they got these, the recruiting sergeant's lost both his legs and an arm. Because in the book, the whole point of doing that, having him out front, is to make people think about it and go, oh shit, is this really what I want? To make sure they only get the truly dedicated signing up.
Yep.
So they did kind of carry that over because in the book he meets them afterwards. And
like I said, he's read the first 2 chapters of the book.
Yeah. But and Starship Troopers, you can just go back and watch that. And unlike Highlander 2, where you can watch it and just for Michael Ironside, because the rest of it is piss poor, fucking atrocious. Starship Troopers, you can watch the whole movie again and again and again, and always have fun with it.
Right.
It's just such a fun action sci-fi. You see more of the socio side of it, so it's more of a horror movie for you. I just see it as a good sci-fi action, almost commentary on socio political leanings, but it's just a great movie.
Yep.
Love that film.
Yep.
And also, by the way, the CGI ones are pretty good as well. There's a couple of CGI movies which are worth a watch as well. So yeah, although Starship Troopers 2 might possibly hit the top 5 worst movie sequels of all time. Although they did have tits in, so that gets a bonus point.
Okay.
But yeah, there you go.
That's one. It's a movie I'm pretty sure I'm one of the few people who've actually seen. It's a movie called The Arrangement, sometimes known as Blood Money. The Arrangement is a movie that is written by and directed by and starring Michael Ironside. It's an interesting little, it's a neo-noir picture. Basically, Jennifer is it Jennifer Tilly, I believe? Lori Petty, sorry. Lori Petty is like a stripper whose boyfriend's killed, and she runs off with like his guns, like a chest car full of cash, and she ends up running with the drugs and the money, and is being hunted down by bad guys. Michael Ironside plays like the one of two police officers who are assigned to the case to find out what's going on. He's the senior detective. His junior detective is played by a guy named Cary Graham. This is a movie where you'll see a lot of like smaller actors like Michael Ironside himself given a bigger role than they normally would. And that's one of the reasons I really like this movie. It's clear that Ironside is giving his buddies a chance to shine and really show their acting chops in roles that in most movies they might be there looking as like the gruff cop or beat up the suspect who's there for a few minutes. But these guys are allowed to have a bit more meatier role. And Michael Ironside, for the most part, kind of stays in the background to allow other actors a chance to shine. And but it's a great little script. It's an interesting story. Turns out Lori Petty's girl has a previous relationship with Michael Ironside's partner that comes up, and it's a great noir picture, and that is why I really like this movie. And it's a hard time finding it. Apparently, it's only available on DVD, so I'm probably going to have to get it that way. I'm sure I had it somewhere around here. Maybe I still do. Anyways, The Arrangement is a movie and it's the one time he gets into writing and directing. I don't see too many other him doing that anywhere else. So I feel like someone who's written and directed something and starring in it's like special to them as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really do enjoy this particular little movie, and if you can find it out there, I really recommend it. It's my number one pick is The Arrangement by Michael Ironside.
Wow. Hold on. So I'm just making a note here, looking for something. Mm-hmm. No. Oh, damn it. No. That's going to be tough to find. I'll try and find you. I'll try and find it for you, mate. I will try and find it for you. Because I want to see this now. I did not know about this. This is written, directed, and starring. Jesus, what does he think he is? Stallone?
You're right.
Fucking Stallone or Eastwood? Mm-hmm. But no, interesting one. Very interesting. I like the fact when actors branch out a little bit more.
Yeah, and that's the nature of this show, people. We're talking about these actors and these directors or these genres, and we want you to find out about the things that you've seen but nobody else has seen, and bring it to light.
Oh yes, no, definitely. Sorry, I was just fucking getting messages again. No, so guys, watching on the replay, leave a comment down below. What would you like us to do for our next one? Because we're kind of toying with the idea of worst sequels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely put comments or talk about that one down below after the video's over, and let us know what you think about the worst sequel idea. I do have a movie, an actor I think we should do. We've talked about him a couple times in the last few streams, and talk about movies that would be good for them. I'm just trying to figure out what is the movie that we would eliminate from this actors.
Which actor is this? Because we talk about a lot of bloody actors. We focus on one actor.
Top 5 Powers Booth movies. And, of course, the number one I think we should eliminate is probably Red Dawn.
Yeah, it'd be either Red Dawn or Southern Comfort.
Yeah. And I think I'd rather we talk about Southern Comfort. It'd probably be both on our list.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a few years. It gives me an excuse to watch it again.
Yeah, and I think that's probably see where it would place on our list would be a good discussion, and talking about the movie itself versus everyone talks about freaking Red Dawn all the time. So. Yeah,
I love that movie. So yeah, we could do Powers. Let us know. Hit us up in the comments down below. Give us your list of your top 5 Michael Ironsides. I mean, I know who was it that. Who was it fucking earlier on in the chat? Yeah, Matthew says it's been too long since I've seen many movies he did. Watch 1988 Highlander 2, the final battle series, mini-series. An episode of Stargate 1. Yeah, the one, funny enough, Matthew watching Stargate. And he does bring up Sequest Season 3.
Yeah. We certainly talked enough about it at the beginning.
Yeah. Well, but it's TV, so we, TV series, so we had to kind of.
TV movies are okay, but TV shows are not.
No. Jeez, my camera spazzed out there. But yeah, guys. Well, Dave, what do you want to say?
I want you to, if you're watching this for the first time, like, share, and subscribe, and join us every other week when we get together and talk about our top fives. Our top fives.
Yeah,
this has been a lot of fun doing this show and having a regular schedule, and I think that's one of the reasons why my channel went from like nobody to 104 subscribers.
Well, it wouldn't have anything to do with Chuck Norris, would it?
Yes, Chuck Norris. That movie, that video is like 2,500 views now.
Jesus, mate! Congrats!
Mm-hmm.
Wow. But yeah, no. So yeah, please remember, subscribe to this man. This man is the ledge, David March. He joins me and Chris over on Green Zone. We do a Fallout RPG stream. He always hanging about the place. Fucking brilliant bloke. Deserves everything he gets. And I actually mean that in a nice way, Dave. So don't take it.
Thank you.
Don't take it the wrong way. Deserves everything he gets. He lives in Canada.
Yeah. I'm in the prisoner of war camp 5.
Yeah. Well, one day.
Oh yeah, it's coming. Like we've already had one of our premieres basically come out and said I'm not doing any more lockdowns because the latest version is so virulent we can't. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
And we had other people start to they brought in heavy things and they're already retreating from them because their poll numbers are starting to suck. So
shock. I'm shocked.
If only could get all these politicians bad poll numbers, I think we'd be out of this thing already. Like it's happening in your country.
Yeah, well, that's plus. Like I say, I think it's a bit of a deflection tactic, but I mean, everybody ignores this shit anyway.
Yeah, in your country. In my country, they don't, and that's I've already determined I want to get out of here. I'm probably moving. I'm already exploring my options to move to other countries because, like, I just can't live in a nation of people who are cowards. Like, I never realized that, but people here just are so believers. Like, there's the people will be saying all these government officials are tyrants, and I'm like, no, they're doing it because people
can.
No, here it's not. They want to. I've talked to a lot of the people running the show, at least in my province. They don't want to do this, but they're being told by the people because the people here are so scared of something that's bad for like old people. But I know my mother's friend was telling about her friend whose parents, these two, won't let their kids out of the house because they're terrified they'll get it. And it's like the number of kids who've died in this country in 2 years is 20, and they all had like leukemia.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guarantee there's more kids die every year of bike accidents.
Yeah, exactly. Than this thing. I mean, if you're old, I get it. Like people in my mother's age, you have a right to be frightened, but we shouldn't be torturing them.
Well, yeah, but no offense, you get to a certain age, everything. You know what I mean? You like the flu. Before this, it was the flu. The older generation get the flu jab every year to help yourself protect. People with underlying health conditions. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, anyway, we're here to talk about movies.
Enough about politics here. I have no whole other channel for that.
Yes, you do.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Bye-bye.
Later, folks.